Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
3 local kids are left with what-ifs after their dad is beaten to death in Winnebago County. One of the men accused of killing the father of 3 enters a plea.
Another step toward reducing crime could be a proposal to make it much easier for victims of domestic violence to get an order of protection. The secret weapon? Smartphones.
State Line High School students try their hand at a career in the trades. Teachers hope a job expo could be a turning point for some young adults' future plans.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. A Rockford man pleads guilty to killing someone during a fight.
It happened in November of 2019 on Simpson Road in rural Rockford. Clarence Benjamin is accused of beating Albert Perez to death. A second victim was also badly hurt but survived. Benjamin pleaded guilty to second-degree murder yesterday. He'll spend the next 20 years behind bars. A second suspect, Joseph Benjamin, who was also charged in the crime, will appear in court next month. A little more than 2 years later, Albert Perez's family is still grieving. The 28-year-old left behind 3 little girls.
Rachel Perry talked with the children's mom. Rachel, she tells you a guilty plea can't bring their dad back.
That's right, Mimi and Eric. She says Perez was a great dad, telling me her oldest daughter is still having a hard time coping with him being gone.
They want to call him, they want to see him, but they can't.
Dozens of what-ifs and firsts that Yvette Johnson says her daughters will never have.
He won't be able to be there for their high school graduation, to finish watching them grow up. When they go to college, to walk across that stage too. And even when they get married, they won't be able to walk them down the aisle.
Their father, Albert Perez, was beaten to death in November of 2019. Detectives say the 28-year-old was involved in a disturbance on Simpson Road in Rockford. When officers arrived on scene, Perez was bleeding from his head.
He was on life support, and he was just laying there. And I just wanted him to wake up and this all be a nightmare.
But it wasn't, and Perez later died from his injuries. More than 2 years later, Clarence Benjamin pleaded guilty to his part in Perez's death. Yvette tells me he took a father from 3 little kids who now really miss him.
They can't go to the park with him. They can't call him. They can't see him. They can't play. They can't laugh. All the daughter-dad stuff is gone. I see these dads out here with their daughters every day, and then I look at mine, and my daughters don't have that anymore.
Another man, Joseph Benjamin, is also charged in Perez's death. He's scheduled to make a plea on March 9th. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Rachel. The pandemic could have made the path toward justice safer for victims of domestic violence. Survivors could continue going to court via their computer screen permanently. When courts couldn't bring people into crowded rooms due to COVID, they started hearing witnesses in virtual video conferences. That gave victim advocates an idea. Keep that habit around because it allows victims to alert authorities from a safe distance.
Intimidating behavior can happen across a court in front of a judge and not be noticed by anyone but the survivor. And, appearing remotely, you've got distance. The survivor can be in another physical location. The person accused of causing harm can be in the courtroom or in another location. And so it does diminish the person causing harm's ability to intimidate the survivor.
Supporters of the idea say another plus is courts report much higher attendance when people can just log on instead of showing up in person.
Illinois State Senator Tom Cullerton resigns as part of a federal embezzlement case against him. His lawyer disclosed during a status hearing this morning Cullerton plans to plead guilty. Another hearing is set for next month. Prosecutors say the Villa Park Democrat accepted money on a ghost payroll through a union while he chaired the Senate Labor Committee. That allegedly happened between 2013 and 2016.
Icy roads kept first responders across the state line busy last night. Harlem-Roscoe firefighters rushed to the scene of a T-bone accident. This happened on I-90 near mile marker 6. Crews took one person to the hospital. No word on how they're doing. The department posted these pictures of the crash. You can see the front of the orange sedan crinkled. The Ford F-150 ended up in even worse shape. The accident is still being investigated.
The Rockford community is running out of time to voice their opinions on the scheduled scale back of services at a local hospital. Today is the last day for Rockford residents to speak out about Mercyhealth's request to eliminate inpatient services at Mercy's Rockton Avenue campus. Send your thoughts to an email that we'll provide online. A state review board is taking written comments before it votes on the matter March 15th.
Sanctions against Russia are now in effect. The sanctions freeze assets of Russian government officials and several companies. They do not freeze assets of President Vladimir Putin, but do go after those who support him. Russia is now evacuating personnel from its embassy and consulates in Ukraine. Ukraine's telling its citizens to get out of Russia. All this comes after Russian President Putin ordered the deployment of troops to two regions in eastern Ukraine he recognized as independent. This morning, Ukraine addressed the United Nations Security Council.
The beginning of a large-scale war in Ukraine will be the end of the world order as we know it. If Russia does not get a severe, swift, and decisive response now, this will mean a total bankruptcy of the international security system and international institutions which are tasked with maintaining the global security order.
Plans for a meeting between Presidents Biden and Putin have been called off.
The federal government pumps nearly $500 million into America's ports to try to clear up the backlog and fix the supply chain. Administration officials hope the new money from the bipartisan infrastructure bill will help ease congestion and delays. Applications will be processed from now until May, and they'll be awarded in the fall. The amounts are about double what was awarded to ports last year, but transportation officials say the physical infrastructure upgrades could take years to complete. The administration's also working on more immediate solutions.
Pushing toward 24/7 operations, setting up things like temporary pop-up container yards to clear some of the containers inland when there's not enough room in the ports themselves.
Another effort to resolve supply chain problems is a push by the administration to produce more things domestically.
Hundreds of area students get the chance to get hands-on and potential look at careers. It was a day two of the 2022 Building Trades Career Expo. Members from more than a dozen trades are taking part. They're giving the students hands-on introductions to each job. Information about apprenticeships is available too. Teachers say it's an important resource for those considering a life in the trades.
It's a different voice rather than just hearing mine about the trades, plus they can see it firsthand what a training center looks like and things like that, learn about their options outside of the school.
The expo runs through Thursday. You can find more information on mystateline.com. President Joe Biden is slated to deliver his first State of the Union next week in front of Congress.
At the same time, truckers will be making their way to Washington, D.C. to voice opposition against COVID restrictions. Both events create the need for more security around Capitol Hill. Our Washington correspondent Jesse Tenor is keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
As many as 1,000 trucks began their drive from California to D.C. Wednesday to protest pandemic restrictions like mask mandates and vaccine requirements. The convoy follows a similar truckers' protest in Canada that shut down parts of its capital city. But unlike those demonstrations, this group, called the People's Convoy, plans to stay off the D.C. thoroughfares.
Blocking roadways and things like that is unlawful.
Still, federal and local law enforcement agencies say they will be ready for traffic control.
That's their goal, that's their mission.
Spokesperson John Kirby confirms the Pentagon has approved the deployment of 700 unarmed National Guard troops ahead of President Biden's State of the Union address at the U.S. Capitol next week. The People's Convoy is not expected to arrive until after, but others could come before. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she's confident in Capitol security.
They have a good handle on what the expectation is.
One precaution, Capitol Police plan to reinstall the 7-foot fence that surrounded the complex for months after January 6th.
People said, oh, don't let them put up a fence. That's not my call. That's a security call.
D.C. officials plan to issue traffic guidance to residents closer to the president's address. The governors of Maryland and Virginia say they're also monitoring the situation. In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
Now, your First Warn weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Well, we had some afternoon flurries and even some sunshine as well, but that was nothing compared to when we had the ice yesterday. We have had a lot more clearing on the back end. And that same cannot be said for just south of us, where they are experiencing some pretty heavy snowfall and some sleet moving through just south of St. Louis through here this afternoon and evening. Now, luckily, this is just the first wave of the two-wave system. The second wave that will impact us will be not nearly as significant as that one, but we'll have the details on that here in just a moment. Right now, temperatures are still in the 20s. We are picking up snow flurries here in Rockford according to our sky conditions there. A little bit of sunnier conditions out toward Galena. Overall temperatures are just a little bit colder than what we had for the afternoon high. We were just a few degrees warmer. That's partly because of this northeast wind that's bringing our temperatures down just a little bit and causing some cooler wind chills here this afternoon and evening as well. We are seeing those clearer and cooler conditions. Our Mercyhealth SkyTrack cam of downtown Rockford. A lot more cloud cover has begun to move in over these last couple of hours. That cloud cover increasing ahead of this system. Overall tonight we will see those chance of flurries continue, but overall not really much expected with those flurries. Temperatures down to 15 here in Rockford. Tomorrow temperatures up into the upper 20s, but that's when those snow showers begin to work their way in. It'll be breezy as well, so we could have some blowing and drifting snow. With that, the National Weather Service has issued a winter weather advisory for all of these counties here in purple. That's all the counties in Illinois, excluding the counties in southern Wisconsin at this present moment. Now that lasts through tomorrow afternoon until Friday morning. We check out FUTURECAST. We see these showers begin to work their way in. Right now we're still seeing a lot of that cloud cover through the evening. Temperatures down to around 15. A lot of cloud cover through the day tomorrow, but really we don't see those snow showers pick up until afternoon. That's when we see those really scattered in nature, really picking up and widespread by the time that we get around to this time tomorrow. A lot more of those snow showers working their way through. Those continue through the overnight hours. I do think they push out very quickly after midnight. So overall, the morning commute looking not as snowy, but we could still see those snow-covered roads with those. A lot of clearing skies behind that as temperatures get back up into the 20s again. Now, if we time out the snow, I do think most of that will pick up, especially into the evening tomorrow, continuing through the overnight hours, but they will diminish quickly after midnight. We could see some pretty slick road conditions out there Friday morning, however, even though the snow will be done by then. As far as totals are concerned, I do think we stay right around that 1 to 3 inches. This will be really light and fluffy snow, however, so not a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. We will see those pretty slick road conditions, especially because of that light and fluffy nature. Looking beyond this snowstorm, we are seeing that trough that will develop that snowstorm here, but beyond that, a ridge developing behind that. That will bring our temperatures up for the rest of the week and much quieter conditions as well. So after this snowstorm, we're looking pretty dry and pretty warm beyond that. There's that ridge developing here on the jet stream map. And beyond that, temperatures much warmer. We take a look at the 7-day forecast. Those chance for snow tomorrow into Friday morning. Temperatures in the 20s, but then we turn toward the back end of the week. Look at that. We're gradually warming every day up into the 40s by the time we get to the end of the week. That warming trend does look to continue beyond that week and drier conditions as well. So overall, beyond the snow, warm and quiet.
Now sports with sports director Scott Leber.
Does any NFL general manager have a tougher job this offseason than Brian Gutekunst of the Packers does? He has to find a way to keep Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams in Green Bay and do it with the Packers currently almost $43 million over the salary cap. Gutekunst told reporters today the Packers haven't given Rodgers any timelines for reaching a decision.
Just again, we're working together. I think the conversations after the season were very impactful, and I appreciated them very much. Obviously, everything around here kind of centers around the quarterback. That's kind of how we do things. So it's a big piece. It's a domino that kind of has to fall before we go down, other avenues. So
Adams is a free agent, and whether or not he resigns with the Packers could depend on whether or not Rodgers stays. The Packers could put the franchise tag on Adams to keep him. That's not the route Gutekunst wants to take.
It's not something we like to do. We'd certainly, not like to do that if we don't have to. We'd certainly like to come up with a long-term deal that works for both sides. But that's, it's a hypothetical that a lot of things have to happen before we get to that point.
Well, Tom Brady's headed to the big screen. He's going to star as himself in a movie he's producing. It's called 80 for Brady. It's about 4 women who take a road trip to watch Brady and the Patriots play in Super Bowl 51 against the Falcons. That's the game where the Patriots made that dramatic comeback. Brady has an A-list group of actresses to play the 4 women: Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, Rita Moreno, and Sally Field. Production on the movie will begin this spring. This is a night for high school basketball junkies. Boys regional action will be playing out all over the area. At the Jefferson 4A Regional, Harlem is playing Auburn and Guilford will play Hononegah. At BOYLAN in Class 3A, Belvedere will challenge the Titans and Belvedere North will take on Freeport. And it's just a small sliver of the basketball action happening tonight. Yesterday, members of the Rock Valley College women's basketball team were honored. Today, it's the guys' turn. 3 players received N4C All-Conference honors. Alexa Markovich made the All-Conference first team. Malik Marshall and Nick Pearson made the All-Conference second team.
In just a minute, Jordan has another peek at the winter weather on the way.
But first, here's a look at what's to come tonight on News Nation.
Tonight on Dan Abrams Live on News Nation. This guy has more than 20 million views.
The capital city of Kiev is relatively calm.
Meet the reporter who's been covering the situation in Ukraine in 6 different languages. That's tonight on Dan Abrams Live.
That's coming up on the fastest growing cable news network in America, News Nation. It's available on the cable and satellite stations you see here. You can also head to newsnation.com. Jordan's back now to tell us more about that snow headed our way.
Yeah, no, we have that snow that's just on the way. We had all that ice yesterday, especially to the areas north and west of us. And we had much calmer conditions today, and then snow rolls back in tomorrow morning.
Still
right
some
now,
pretty looking trees around here, though.
Yeah,
I'm driving down
ice.
Mulford today. You can kind of see the ice on the leaves still sparkling a little bit.
I noticed that on the way in as well. We are dealing with those flurries, so we might have some flurries flying in, maybe a snow globe kind of feel along with those glistening ice through the trees there. That's our first interactive radar from Rockford Auto Glass. Through the rest of the week, we do have those snow chances tomorrow afternoon through Friday morning. That's when that winter weather advisory lasts until. That's the counties that are in northern Illinois. We have much warmer temperatures and quieter conditions through the rest of the week. We do have 30s through Saturday and Sunday. We continue that warming trend. We might even see 50 shortly thereafter because the Climate Prediction Center has forecasted above average temperatures and below average precipitation. So much quieter conditions looking beyond this snowstorm here.
Ending February on kind of a warm note. That could be nice.
Yeah, it definitely will be.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Jordan.
And thank you for spending some time with us. Stay safe.